G'day guys, Fitcho here and welcome back to my MotoGP 18 career mode. Today we're here for episode number 4 and round 4 of the Red Bull Rookies Cup season, and today we are heading to Germany, to the Sachsenring, and it's not one of my favourite tracks on the calendar, I will be honest. It's a track I do usually struggle around a little bit, so we could be in for a bit of a tough weekend. Let's get into it.
Hello, we're joining you live from the Sachsenring circuit in Germany. The engines are starting to roar and the riders are getting ready. The qualifying session is about to begin. Judging from the information we're receiving, we're anticipating a dry but distinctly cloudy session.
It is time for qualifying here in Germany. Like I said, this is not one of my best tracks, so I think a top 10 finish in qualifying would be an excellent result for us today. I'm going to say that is probably the target, get into the top 10, and I'd say this has been a successful session. Tate has had a crash. He's usually been one fighting for the podium places, so that could be interesting if they can get that bike back and repaired, and if he can get in a decent qualifying lap. He's like third in the championship or something, I believe, at the moment. As we're only 5 minutes into this session, there's still 35 minutes to go there, so there's definitely a good chance he can get back out there and set a decent lap. But as you can see, at the moment, we are well off the pace. We really are struggling, almost 2 seconds down on this lap at the moment. What are we going to set? A 1:30.8, 2.3 seconds down on Onku's fastest time at the moment. There's still a lot of time to find and a lot of time left in the session to try to find that time. This has been a frustrating lap. I was a 10th up on the fastest time in Sector 1, but I lost a second in Sector 2. And we gained 3/10 in that final sector, but just through the middle part of the lap, through the long series of left-handers, we are just so slow through there. I just can't find a nice rhythm. I'm killing the first and the last part of the lap, but through those all the left-handers in sectors 2 and 3, I'm just so slow at. See, we were 0.012 or something down after Sector 1. Now we're 1.1 seconds down after Sector number 2. It's just frustrating. I'm losing so much time in one sector, and I just can't sort it out at the moment. Yet again, we were within a 10th at the end of the first sector, but we're going to end up over a second down on the time, 1.2 down. And I think I set a decent final sector as well, but just those middle 2 sectors absolutely killing me. Bit too much power there at turn number 1. I think that's just going to do our qualifying session. I cannot find any more time through those middle 2 sectors, and it looks like we're going to be starting in dead last. So, Philip Salak is on pole position with Xavier Artigas on second, with Mikon Kawakami rounding out the front row of the grid. Adrian Carrasco could only manage 5th place in today's qualifying session, of course the championship leader. And then there's us, all the way down in last place in 26th place. Pole position time was a 1:28.4. We managed a 1:29.0, and we were losing a second across the middle 2 sectors. So we definitely have pace through the first and last sector, but just all those left-handers through sectors 2 and 3, I just cannot hook it up, and I just can't get anything better than a 1:29.0 right now, and that is 2/10 slower than the next quickest bike, which is Jerry Salim in 25th place.
Hello and welcome to the Sachsenring circuit. The waiting is finally over. The German Grand Prix will be starting in just a few minutes. As you can see, at the moment the sky is covered with a thick layer of cloud. But nevertheless, the latest weather reports have assured everybody that it isn't going to rain.
It is race day here in Eastern Germany at the Sachsenring. We are starting right at the back of the field, and we have 9 laps ahead of us in today's Red Bull Rookies Cup race, and this is going to be a real struggle of a race. In the first 3 rounds of the season, we've shown good pace in qualifying, struggled in the early phase of the race, and come good at the end, but the damage has been done too early. But coming into this race, I don't even have the good pace to start with, so the last 3 weekends have been a bit tough, and I think this is going to be the toughest race of the season so far for us today. We really need to get a good start and get that rhythm going early, because even when I do have that rhythm, I'm still slow in those middle 2 sectors. I'm lightning quick through 1 and 4, but 2 and 3, I just can't find the rhythm through there, can't find any pace through that long series of left-handers, and that's just hurting me so badly.
Everything is ready to start here at Sachsenring. Concentration is at the max because it's extremely important not to lose positions early on this track.
Here we go, it is race time in Germany. Grab the clutch, bike into gear, revs up, lights are on. As lights out, and away we go. The German Grand Prix is underway, and yet again, it's been a shocking start for myself. I don't know what I'm doing wrong off the line, and I still can't get a good start. But now down into turn number 1, you can see I'm already that far back. I can't even send one up the inside in a desperate plea to try to overtake a few bikes and get a few positions. We really need to make the most of the early half of this lap, this first sector, to try to catch up and make a few positions, because we're about to come up to all the left-handers that I struggle with so much. But maybe I can try to follow the pack, watch their lines, and take a few pointers, some tips from these guys and work out what I am doing wrong. One of the things I'm doing wrong on this lap in particular is taking a little bit too much curb there through turn number 6, through the fast turn number 7 we go, and we haven't lost touch with them too bad. I thought it might be a little bit worse considering how much I have been struggling through here, but we're still on the back of the pack as we head up the hill through this left-hander. And now this fast left-hander back on the power as early as we dare. Nice run through there. Can we get up the inside of Salim as we head down the hill? Yes, we can. We've made up one place into 25th. Up next is Alfano as onto the brakes we go for this fast and tricky left-hander, the Sachsen curve. Apparently it has a name. That's one of the new features I do like about this game, is seeing the corner names, because I do like corner names. I do like calling corners by their names and learning the tracks by those names. Having it on the screen is fantastic. And through the last corner, we made up another 2 positions on Jefferson and someone else, whoever it was. And at the end of lap 1, we've actually made up positions for the first time in our career. We've made up positions on the opening lap of a race. Can we get a nice line through turn number 1? Try to get a run on Hernandez. We can't quite do it through turn number 1, through turn number 2, a fair bit of understeer there, just running the bike a little bit wide. Is now down to Omega corner, turn number 3, onto the power as early as we dare. Not the best run through there, as you see someone was looking up our inside, and now this is where it starts to hurt for us through these left-handers who have just lost 2 positions there to Alfano and Jefferson. I think that's who the other bike is. I'm not 100% sure. Is now through turn number 7. Keep that throttle wide open in the slipstream of Alfano. Now onto the brakes, down to 3rd for turn number 8. Can we look up the inside as we head up the hill here at 9? Well, we've run a little bit wide there. I usually do run wide on the exit, but not the entrance, because running wide on the exit does give you a nice run and more speed as we head down the hill in the slipstream of Alfano. Can I just send this up his inside aggressively down at the Sachsen curve? I've gone in a little bit deep, and we'll try to pull this back. Don't lose out to whoever is behind us. I can't remember who it was, because if he gets back past us, we'll be back down into... Oh, that's a bit too early on the turn in there, just clipping the grass at that final corner. But out of the final corner we come, up to the line to end lap number 2 of 9 here of this German Grand Prix. And it's Jerry Salim who is sitting behind us in last place on lap number 2. Have lost 2 positions, back down into 25th place through turn number 1. A nice exit off here. We've got a bit of a run on Alfano and the bike in front of him through turn number 2. Can we look up the inside at 3? No, we're not quite close enough, using a lot of curb there through turn number 3. And now this is where we start to struggle. You can see just coming out of there as well, the final of the right-handers. I am bleeding time to the pack ahead of us there as well. As you can see, I'm really struggling through here, and it hasn't been the worst run. I'm trying to watch the bikes in front and watch their cues, turn-in points, acceleration points, braking points, and try to copy those to try to find a little bit of time. But even doing that, we've lost 1 second through that second sector to Alfano just ahead of us, and we could be having a one-on-one battle with Salim for the last place in the field. That was a little bit of a moment there coming through the final corner, just gassing it up a little bit too much, a little bit too eager on the power, but we've got the gap down to 0.8 of a second. Like I said, we are pretty quick through that final sector, even with that big mistake we had out of the last corner, I should say. We've lost half a second through that first sector, and Jerry Salim is looking up our inside on the exit of 7 into turn number 8. We're trying to hold it around the outside, but he gets that position. But can we look back up his inside into turn number 10? We're actually just going to wash it wide on the power earlier, as now we flick back for 11 and head down the hill. But we do hold on to that position, and now the gap is down to 1.4 seconds up to Alfano just in front of us. At the end of Sector 3, the gap was 1.4 seconds. The gap is down to 0.8 of a second. I gained 0.6 through that final sector alone on the pack ahead. I have pace through certain parts of the lap, but my pace through sectors 2 and 3 is just hurting me so badly. And it's down to 1.6 again, 0.8 of a second loss through sector number 2. It is actually insane how bad my pace is for that one sector of this circuit. End of lap number 6, 3 laps left here in Germany. The gap was over 2 seconds halfway through the lap, down to 1.6 at the start-finish line, and it'll be back over 2 seconds once we are halfway around the lap yet again, because my pace through Sector 2 is still shocking. I still haven't worked out what I am doing wrong and where to find a little bit more speed. Yep, out to over 2 seconds as Jerry Salim is looking up our inside at turn number 8. We're going to try to hold it around the outside, getting in the grass ever so... Oh, we've got a bit too wide as we head up the hill at turn number 10. Try to get in Jerry's slipstream as we now plummet right through turn number 11 down the hill. We really need to get in his slipstream, get back past. We do not want to be finishing in stone dead last in today's Grand Prix. Through the Saxon curve we go, and now into the slipstream yet again of Jerry Salim. This is where I am really quick into the final corner, just send it to the apex on the power super early. You can see we've gained a lot of time there on Jerry Salim. We're just gonna have to send this down at turn number 1 in his slipstream as we start lap number 8, the penultimate lap of today's German Grand Prix, and up the inside we go, pull it back to the apex, we block him off and we retake 25th place. We've got a fight on our hands, I think, for the wooden spoon in today's Grand Prix, and we do not want to be taking that wooden spoon home with us. Oh, we are so wide through turn number 6, and Salim gets up our inside, but can we get back at him through turn number 7? No, we can't. And we just can't get a nice line through there to hold it absolutely flat like I think you can if you absolutely nail it. I've only done it like once, I think, in all this qualifying and racing that I've done on this track today, where I've gotten the line just right that I can hold it flat. But that's just send it through turn number 10 early on the power. Let the bike run wide. Don't wash off as much speed as now we plummet down the hill back in the slipstream of Salim down to the penultimate corner on the penultimate lap of today's German Grand Prix, using a lot of curb and not the best line. We've washed it a little bit wide, a bit too early on the power. Is now up into the final corner we go, and you can just see we've gained so much on the braking, but a little bit too happy on the throttle there, and we got a little bit of wheel spin, but nonetheless we've gained a lot of time. And we're going to go up his inside as we start the final lap of today's German Grand Prix. Down into turn number 1, we're going a little bit deep. He goes up our inside, we switch back there and hold on to 25th place. Here we go, plummeting down the hill for the final time in today's German Grand Prix. We're still holding on to 25th place. Salim, 3 tenths behind us, only 2 corners now staying between us and the checker flag, and I cannot wait to receive that checker flag, not because today is a good result, because I want this weekend to be over with. It's been an absolutely shocking weekend this weekend here at the Sachsenring, hard on the power, out of the final corner, and I think we have done enough to hold on to 25th place from Salim up to the line to end lap number 9, and this horror weekend that was the German Grand Prix. I got absolutely no MotoGP ID prestige for that. Absolutely none. I just went through a whole qualifying session, 20 minutes of qualifying, and 9 laps around the Sachsenring, and I get absolutely no reward for it. Just a rub insult to injury right there. So, Philipp Salak has won today's German Grand Prix with Khan Onku and Kawakami on the podium. Adrian Carrasco's winning streak comes to an end here in Germany. He doesn't even manage to get on the podium today after 3 consecutive wins. He can only manage a best of 4th. Carlos Tate finishes in 5th. And then let's just scroll down and oh, there I am. 25th place. I'm not last. I guess that's a positive, but it's an absolute shocker. My best time in today's race was slower than my qualifying time. I did a 1:29.2, my best lap of today's race. The fastest lap by the winner was a 1:28.5. Everyone else looks to be in the 1:28, except for Jerry Salim, who were fighting for most of that race, and even then, he has gone faster than us with a 1:29.0. So we finished second last, we qualified last, finished second last, and with the slowest bike on track. absolutely shocking weekend in Germany. Like I think I said in the intro, I don't like the Sachsenring. And in the championship, Adrian Carrasco continues to lead with 88 points, 12 points more than Khan Onku in second place. And after today's shocker, we have dropped 2 positions in the championship from 6th down to 8th place, and now there's a bit of a gap, almost 9 points between us and the bike in front of us, and only 1 point back to a fellow Aussie, Billy Van Erd, in 9th place. So in race 1, our reputation went up by 150. In race 2, we went and got pole, and our reputation went up by 250. In race 3, our reputation went up by 150, and today our reputation's gone up by a whole 13. God, this has been a bad weekend. It really has been a bad weekend, and this could really hurt us. Only 7 rounds in the Red Bull Rookies Cup before trying to get a ride in Moto 3. Taking such a big hit to what we could have got in terms of our reputation, it could be the difference between a good ride and a bad ride in Moto 3 next season.
Considering how today's race went, a little disappointment is more than understandable. The rider and mechanics are going to be talking long into the night so that this team can have better results next time.
A little bit of disappointment. Mate, I want to cry myself to sleep after that race. So, on our social feeds, there is no way we're getting any mentions after that disgraceful performance, but just looking on the left-hand side of the screen, I worked out after, when I was editing the 3rd episode of this series, what I've been referring to as the follower count is actually the total reputation. So it was on 697, we got 13 reputation this weekend, so it's up to 710. So, that is going to do it for today, guys. Next time out, we head to the Red Bull Ring. I wouldn't say that's a good track or a bad track of mine. I'll sort of put it in the neutral category, so hopefully we can have a respectable weekend and try to bounce back from this absolutely shocking weekend here in Germany. But if you did enjoy watching me have a miserable time here and get 25th out of 26 and qualify in last place and all that horrible stuff that just happened, make sure you do leave a like on the video. Of course, make sure you do subscribe for much more MotoGP 18 content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.